find myself watching too many YouTube videos on 50 million topics, and it's really hard for me to keep a focused lens and a focused idea of really what I'm watching, and not necessarily what I'm watching, but what I'm learning from what I'm watching. Because I'll go from watching a super progressive video talking about identity politics and maybe why it's not as bad as people think, all the way from Jordan Peterson talking about something else, and then going to Joe Rogan on his podcast speaking about bears, and going to Ben Shapiro talking about the Civil War and what he thinks about it, and then going to Sam Harris's video with his discussion back and forth between someone. It's very hard with technology nowadays to truly have a steady focus on one thing, because there's so many options and so many things to look at that it's not easy to really have a good understanding of what you are watching, because there's so many things that's on your mind because you just watched 15 other videos, right? If it was just we could watch one video a day and you could watch that video as many times as you want, you can only watch one a day, you would see that people would really understand what we're watching at a far greater level of understanding than what we do now, because now we have an information overload. We're so overloaded with information that when we do hear something, it just rolls over, right? It just flips back. Some people say they have, a tunnel straight through their ears because it comes in one ear, it goes right out the other. Same thing with information nowadays. It happens exactly the same. And so one of the ways that I try to cope with this is I write notes. And so today I was going to talk about some of the notes that I have actually written. And this one we're going to be talking about Jordan Peterson. I have terrible handwriting, so I don't know why I did that, but we're going to be talking about Jordan Peterson. And we are going to be talking about really the main point of this speech that he was giving was how do you tell someone that they have a problem? Or how do you show someone their mistakes that they're making? And how do you correct it? How do you fix the problem at hand? And, through watching this video, he really shows expertise on the subject, because you can tell that he has really gone through a lot of relationship issues that he's had to cope with himself, go through and fix his relationships and see how to actually, resolve some of the problems. And some of the tactics that he uses here are not only simply just his own ideas. There's a lot of the ideas that he's going to be talking about, or that I'm about to show you, are from Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and also from Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Highly Effective People, or the 7 Habits of the Highly Effective People, or something like that. And he uses some of the same strategies that they talk about, and I'm pretty sure there's a couple common denominators that are in all of these books and all of these teachers that I want to share with you. And you might ask, why is it really important to know any of this? Why do I care what these guys are saying? Well, the main reason it is because, listen, everyone's going to have problems with the relationships. We're either going to find a teacher one day that we don't like, we're going to have to deal with them. We're going to have to sit in science class, and we're not going to like the person that we're talking to, and we're going to have to work with them. We're going to be in a job, and we're going to hate our boss, or we're going to hate our coworkers. We might not have a good relationship with our family. How can we resolve these issues? How can we make it to where we can fix these relationships and not just take them from a minor relationship to where you just get along with them, or you not just get along with them, but just get by with the relationships, but you can actually get along with them and actually learn from one another and have a reciprocal relationship, a mutual understanding for one another, and have respect. Now, that's for another video, but for today, this is simply for how do you just fix people's problems. Like if someone burps a lot and you don't like that, or someone talks a lot and you don't like that, how can you go and fix these problems and these behavioral traits that annoy you? Because it annoys the shit out of me. I hate it when people talk a lot, right? I am someone who, I don't really talk at all. When I'm in a social situation, I am more of like a vulture in a sense. I just kind of sit back and I just observe everyone else. And then I make judgments on everything that I see. So I'm more of a judging person. I can be extroverted as well, but I'm more of an introverted vulture type And so this, and it's not only how do you correct these problems, but it's also really good for people who are wanting to get into sales, who are wanting to manage people, because whenever you are in a management position, you are going to have, let's say, two employees that don't like each other. It's almost inevitable. You're going to have two people that don't like each other. You're going to have to fix that. How do you fix that? I'm about to show you. If you're in sales and you're trying to sell to people, how's a better way to sell to people? If they like you, I'm going to teach you how to make good relationships. And I'm not just going to teach you, but Jordan Peterson, Stephen Covey, Dale Carnegie, these people are going to show you how to fix these relationships and make a good relationship out of them. So, to start off, really, the number one point is you have to understand the tone, the frame, the atmosphere of the conversation, right? If I come at you and I want you to buy me a car for free, I just want you to buy me a car, right? What's the worst way to get you to buy me a car? If I have to ask you, I'll let you think about it for a second. It's not that hard of an answer, but the answer is me yelling at you, me commanding you, me lording over you, me coming at you with superiority, saying, listen, you're gonna buy me a car, okay? Go buy me a car right now. I said it, you do it. If you come at any relationship, any idea like this, as this commanding superior, you're not only going to have non-effectiveness, but you're going to have resentment that is built up over time. You're going to have resentment that is built up because whenever you hit someone, not only does it hurt them, but they don't like you anymore. And that is an externality to you hitting them. It's not only that you are making a bad choice, but that choice is going to result in worse choices. So number one, start off the tone in a good manner. Make it to where you are both laughing, you both are in a good state of mind, you both have a good, cordial, amiable situation, and make it to where everyone's having fun at the time. Or at least, don't come at it as a dick, right? Come at relationships as, we need to fix this, and I think me and you can fix this problem, me and you are smart enough. Set the frame of the conversation as a good frame, set the tone as a good tone, as an amiable tone, as a nice tone. Don't set it as a forceful, commanding, lording tone, or someone who thinks you're more superior than them, then you need to teach them why they're wrong, because you might be wrong as well. Be talking to one another. Set the frame, set the tone, make it good. After you've set the tone, after you have established a good playing field, in a sense, because that's what you're doing. You're setting the foundation for your conversation whenever you set a tone. And one of the good ways, by the way, to set tone is by reciprocating something to them, giving something to someone, and then they oftentimes are going to reciprocate back. That's psychological. Psychologically, people want to give when they're given to, or give back when they're given to, and it's just it's wired in our brains to do that. And many psychologists would agree with me, many persuasion artists, authors would agree with me, but I digress. So, after you've established this framework of your conversation, what you need to do is to start asking questions, citing examples, and have it with a curious tone. So let's say you both are laughing, you both are talking, and you say, so, hey dude, yesterday you kind of got mad, or no, that wouldn't be the way to say it. I'm trying to think of an example on the spot. Let's say that you're like, hey dude, yesterday whenever me and you were at the what do you call it? When we were driving out in our car, right? And we were driving, and you seemed to get awfully tense whenever we're driving. Are you okay, man? I mean, like what's going on? Like, do you get really anxious whenever you drive? And then maybe not set it up like that, but have kind of that good tone to yourself first off, and just cite a little example, right? By saying, hey, do you get tense at all whenever you drive? Because I know I do, right? Because whenever I drive around, I always get kind of like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, right? And have this questioning as an example. Be like, yesterday we were driving around, and you seemed to have like a lot of anxiety whenever we were driving around. Do you think, what do you think about that? Do you think like you have a little of anxiety whenever you drive around? And then that's point number 2. Have an example. Have a citing whenever you're going to talk to someone about the problems. Don't just say you have a problem. Say, I noticed this. Is something going on? Can I help you at all? Or is there some way we can fix this? Right? Have a clear example so that you can have something to have a good framework for your conversation. Not only do you need the tone, but you need the frame, or not only do you need the framework of your conversation, you also need the center point of the framework to have your conversation to grow off of. So you provide this this question with curiosity, this example, and then let's say they reciprocate and they say, man, I don't know, or let's say they'll come back to you. I guarantee you they're going to come back to you in a better way, more positive tone than if you just yelled at them. And this is kind of point number 3, but it also adds on to point number 2. You need to start off small, right? Well, the example that I just cited probably isn't the best, but it is an okay example. What you need to be doing in your examples and in your citations of current event or past events that you are trying to relate to the current conversation and showing the past behavior, you have to show the person that they are doing something wrong. Show them in a non-direct way through tiny events. So let's say that you guys are both in the car and he like slams in the brake and is like, what the hell, man? Like, why'd you run into me? Or not, like, why did you stop right in front of me? Why'd you cut me off? Like, he's like getting road rage. You could say, you okay, man? Like, is everything good? Put the idea in his head at the small start. Start small and grow. I don't know how to really articulate it in words and in good examples and analogies, but just take the advice of, point number 3 was start small and grow in your conversation, in your dialogue. Never just explode out at someone. Encroach, small encroachment, and then encapsulate. Right? Don't ever give up your ground. So grow a little bit, encapsulate. Grow a little bit, encapsulate. Grow a little bit, encapsulate. Withdraw yourself into your framework that you've already built, and do not let yourself grow too fast in your conversation. Right? And don't get frustrated as well whenever it's not going the way you want. And then number 4, the last point. I'll go over all the points one more time, but the last point is going to be, whenever you are citing these cases, a lot of the time you will have people who are very doubtful of what you're saying. They're like, that's not true, right? They want to be knowingly ignorant of the ideas that you're spouting about. So let's say I say, I'll just do a blanket statement. And this is not how you should do it, but let's say I just said this. I say, you have road rage. And my friend said, no, I don't. And I said, yes, you do. My friend says, no, I don't. That doesn't go anywhere. What you need to do when you're having your conversations is have solid evidence. Either that being, having a video, a text message, a friend and a couple friends to back you up, or just to be really persuasive, but you need to have some sort of evidence to make your claim seem like you're not bullshitting, right? Because lots of the time people really don't think that they have a problem until they are shown the light, per se. So you need to unravel and cloak the light and let it shine through evidence. Show your evidence. Show your case. Let it be small. Let it grow slowly, right? If you're wanting to have a better relationship, as an example, to fix someone else's problems, to help them out, or if you're trying to work on your relationships, by setting your tone up correctly, having few examples that you can all talk about in a good manner, by starting small and growing and growing and growing, and then eventually getting to a bigger conversation and having evidence and supporting details to your claims, so you're not just sounding like someone who knows what they're talking about, right? And sounding like someone who not sounding like someone who has the Dunning-Kruger effect, someone who knows really nothing, but they sound like they know a lot, or they try to act like they know a lot. Um, these are the tactics that we can use to really cultivate good relationships, to make our relationships improved. So again, set the tone up correctly. Make it to where you both are enjoying the conversation you already are having. 2, have an example. Have a pillar that you are going to cling to, and that you both can cling to talk about. And make it a good pillar as well. Don't make your pillar a toxic pillar as well. Because toxicity in a conversation can ruin the pillar. It can crumble it faster than an earthquake could crumble a sand hut. It's not going to be good. Like if I come at you and I say, dude, you're a real dick to that person, that's a very toxic pillar to pivot on, climb to. It may be effective, but it's not going. It probably isn't going to be that an effective of a tactic to use. So that's 1 and 2. 3. Remember, start small and grow. Don't just go to that big thing. Start small and slowly ask more questions to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and have more engagement by the person once they start engaging more. And then the 4th thing, again, is have the evidence to support your details. Now, I just went over how to try to clear up relationships and problems, relationship problems that you may have a hard time fixing. I'm not someone who knows what I'm talking about. I just am looking at what other people have taught me and what other people have told me and other videos that I've watched. So if you're gonna judge what I'm saying, judge what they're saying, right? Let's just have a conversation. This is how we do it at this channel. This channel is going to be dedicated to just discussing ideas. If you would like to keep watching these videos, there should be more videos like on the side, in the next videos, or it should be like an autoplay. Maybe you're going to have a next video come up. Watch some of them. You might learn something. Again, if you're in sales, or if you're in business management, or if you live, if you have a life, if you want to get good relationships, if you want to improve your mental health, if you want to talk about philosophy, this channel is this is the channel that you're going to want to be a part of. Because not only am I going to be talking about all these things, I'm going to have live calls and live chats where I can talk to people back and forth. I have plenty of books here that I'm going to be reviewing eventually, all the way from Descartes to The Art of War, Dave Ramsey to Self-Made Millionaire, a whole bunch of different books that I have planned out to read. So stay tuned. Again, this was how do you improve your relationships, how do you fix the problems inside of relationships. Thanks for watching.